All right, welcome back to Urban X TV. It's your boy Malcolm, and this is the artist formerly known as the Black Dot. We're here with y'all in the building. Something, a little something, trying something different. Let us know if y'all like it.
Couple of
Um,
news shorts during the day,
you know what I'm saying? Just so we could not bog the podcast down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
With some like not old stuff, but just stuff that probably we wouldn't normally talk about. But on this one, we are talking about something that I think we would have talked about on the pod, but we missed it last Thursday. Kendrick's the pop out show that he had in LA in Inglewood. Do you know what the arena was called? I know it's famous.
Oh, that's the Felt Forum. I believe that's the
For
old stadium that the Lakers used to play in, if memory
okay.
serves me correct. Yeah.
Okay. So that happened last week, right? And I watched it and this happened on Juneteenth. This happened last Wednesday on Juneteenth. And it was incredible. Like I really, really enjoyed it. I thought as far as like, when if you're from a place and it's being represented the right way, I'm not from LA, but it looked like they were represented in the right way. They had some local artists, they had some old school local artists that, just if you're not from LA, you don't know who it is. Like Tommy the Clown. Everybody was like, who the hell is this? But people from LA was like, yeah, don't speak on Tommy the Clown. Y'all don't know him. And I'm just like, all right, cool.
Uh-huh.
But it was dope. Kendrick came out and he played some joints with Black Hippie, with Absol, Schoolboy Q, J Rock. So that was dope. And then he got into what everybody was really there for, which was the Drake disses. He came out and he performed Euphoria. I thought that
Yes.
was dope, setting the scene. He went into some of his other joints, and then at the end, he closed it out with like 6 performances of not like us, and it was wild. What'd you think?
I thought, again, everything has to be in alignment for that to work right. So the Juneteenth situation, bringing people together, unifying Bloods and Crips. I'll talk about how deep that's going to be or how long that's going to last on tonight's podcast. A little bit more editorial on that, but bringing people together, him putting the final nails in the coffin in terms of the situation with Drake, and that takes it to another level because we've seen diss tracks,
Yeah.
we've seen Drake turn a diss track into a number one hit
Yep.
with back to back.
Yep.
And now he has one up that by performing it live in a stadium full of people on Juneteenth,
Yeah.
which also accentuates that they're not like us. It's so many double and triple entendres in regards to he's a great performer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
And
camera
so
angles, all of that, the fire
the,
pyrotechnics,
all that
crazy.
the techniques, the camera angles moving the way they were moving, I thought was all done very well, and you conjure up energy. And then remember that was also on the cusp of the equinox, which was 2 days later or the next day, the 19th.
Mm.
And so you're dealing with equinox energy. His birthday was the day before or 2 days before on the
Oh,
17th,
okay.
right? Tupac's birthday was 2 days or on the 16th. And so
Ah,
by him dressing in an outfit that Tupac would wear,
he changed the
uh,
lyrics to one of the songs too.
yes, that's what I heard. The pop out or whatever it was is spelled uh, uh, POK, which is Pac. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So the pop out of Ken, so all the little subtleties inside of that, conjuring up energy, uh, and everyone coming in peace was a magical moment. All right, let's just keep that there. It was a euphoric moment, and I was very happy to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, how is that sustained? Like I said, I'll get more in depth tonight on how something like that can be sustained, if at all. You know
So
what I mean?
when I was watching this, right, I was just kind of, and I asked you this the next day. I said I don't understand. I don't see a path forward for Drake, and it's because the way you win in the digital media age, in the social media age, is you have to kind of control a timeline. And what Kendrick did is he controlled the timeline, and it's like overwhelmingly Kendrick. Now, word to the word of caution here, okay? And this is kind of what I've just been thinking about. Kendrick played a very risky game in this battle, in my opinion, of attacking morality. You're human, as Kendrick, you're human, and you're going after somebody else's morality as another human, right? You mess up too. We don't know all your transgressions, but what you did was you galvanized everybody to go, this person is a bad person. Now, when the first performance of Not Like Us during that performance of the entire pop out thing, he brought out Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Okay, he brought out Dr. Dre to kind of introduce the song to kind of kick everything off. That was a choice.
Yes.
That was an interesting choice because
Yes.
you want to again act like you are just the moral high ground here, and everybody else is putting you up there as well now.
Mm-hmm.
You bring out Dr. Dre, who has been known to have done some wild things to women. Same
Right.
thing Drake accused you of doing to your woman in the battle.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting, right?
Yep.
So, and it's just one of those things where, again, you leave yourself way too open, and it was a risk that paid off. It was a risk that paid off. He knocked it out of the park.
Well, let
As
me also say this.
Go ahead.
Remember, he's banking on that most of that generation won't dig that far
That's true
to
too.
realize that Drake beat up D from Pump It Up,
Yep.
threw her down a flight of stairs, and had a reputation for that type of but it is pointing out the contradiction of this. And part of my editorial and spiel tonight is going to be aimed at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aimed
Yeah.
at you because, but from a wisdom standpoint, because I'm an elder, and so return on my investment. What kind of energy do I give to something that doesn't deserve the energy? But the young fire in you, and so it's going to lead to a great conversation of how this social media thing is a new construct.
Yes.
And it's put morons on the same level as intellectuals because you don't know which is which.
Yo, we come in contact with way too many mentally unstable
Yes,
people because of the internet. Like it's ridiculous.
yes.
It's ridiculous.
And so tonight is going to be a great conversation about how we got here. And this is the first time in history that you could be literally talking to a moron
Yes.
and you would not know.
Yeah.
And then when you find out it is a moron, how much energy are you still willing to invest?
Yeah.
Talk to morons because now you invested, and I need a return on my investment at this age of my life. So,
And
but
then
back
yeah.
to your point, very good point.
And then because and then you also can't control what everybody else is doing around you, right?
Right, right.
So you have all of these people on stage with you who you're saying, one, we're co-signing this against Drake, like, okay, cool, we're getting them out of here. But I'm putting myself on the pedestal as the moral high ground here. Everybody in behind me now, again, microscope is on everybody. So not in the same vein, but also something else that happened after that. YG, who's from Compton, member of the Power Rules out there, he brought over into his neighborhood Bobby Aldoff, the
Yeah, yeah.
girl,
I'm not familiar with that story. Explain
right?
it
So
to
he
me.
brings her to Compton. He brings her to where the Power Rules hang and stuff like that. Goes to the neighborhood. They filming her. They telling her to say what's bracking and stuff like that. Now, the song was called "Not Like Us." Okay. The song was attacking Drake for him being half white and Canadian and you not being from here because you are not like us, right?
Yes.
But then again, somebody on your stage wasn't you, but somebody on your stage brings a white woman who they were just getting at for being a cultural appropriate, for being an industry plant, for being, all these things that and they catapulted her up, with in her podcast and stuff like that. Of being like, this cultural appropriate, this culture vulture. You bring her to your neighborhood, make her feel safe. You tell her to say what's bracking, but you get what I'm saying? And if another person that looked like you, somebody that is like you, was to say what's bracking, you knock his head off.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
get what I'm saying? I think.
But what you're gonna notice is, and like I said, I kind of want to save it for tonight because it's really gonna open your eyes to some things. But um, what's taking place here is when you throw a grenade of truth in a room of people who are having a euphoric moment. Keep that in mind,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Don't listen. When give them wine and circus, and they'll never revolt, right? What you're doing is equivalent to shooting up the club. And
yeah,
people always go, man, we was having a good time in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
This nigga gotta come shoot the club up. And so by dropping a truth grenade, remember a grenade, not only does it make noise, it makes light. You know what I'm saying? And it you know what I mean?
yeah.
And so what you're doing is forcing people to, because there's absolute truth
Mm-hmm.
and then there's your truth.
Yeah,
You ever heard people say, I'm just living my truth?
yeah,
What that means is that they have curated the truth to satisfy themselves based on the situation they're in. And that's what I'm going to teach you tonight. We're going to go through a step by step so you can see why you have to start thinking about the return on your investment when
mm.
you go online to bring truth to power, because it's never been about truth. Our people could care less. And so what I'm learning is when a euphoric moment is taking place, you allow that euphoric moment to happen because our people now are into moral victories
Yes.
more than actual receiving victory, if that makes sense.
No, no, you're right. You're right.
And so, you as a young gunner, that's my duty to sit there and say, "All right, Malcolm, I see where you're going with this, but through my years of experience, let me show you something." You know, it's deeper than that. Our people need these euphoric moments, like they needed the Kaepernick moment. They needed that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Even though we were waving, saying, "Bro, this doesn't make any sense," you fucking up the flow here.
Yeah.
And so when the people have been in a sunken place for as long as we have, it lends to, it's not about freedom, dude. It's sort of like we were fighting the company, the corporation for higher wages, and we settled for a pizza party.
Yeah.
Right? Right? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We came in, guns blazing, done that with this is the work we've been doing. And when we all settled, we settled for a pizza party.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what you saw on stage there was a pizza party, right? And everybody likes pizza. And so it means we're not working at the moment. We're all gathering around and we're having a spiritual pizza party. And so I
Yeah.
hate to say it like that.
No, that's a fact. Cause I'm just I get frustrated at
I
the
know.
at the discourse that happens on the timeline, man, on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm just like, yeah, y'all cannot be serious. And they
But remember,
are.
this social media thing is a new construct.
Yeah.
You could burn more energy mentally sitting on your ass, moving your fingers, than you could ever in the street marching for an actual cause.
Yeah.
This thing is, bro, and I'm going to break down something called quantitative value. You know what I mean? To show you how this thing is computed now. there's a quantitative value to what we're seeing, and so it's very interesting. And I think that will, you know what I mean, be a
Okay.
nice way to set things off tonight. You know, giving people a little, insight. I
Okay.
like your screen is clear.
Man, yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I am loving it. So to put a bow on it, I thought it was a great concert.
Hmm.
Um, I thought the timing, again, alignment is important. He was very well calculated in what he
Yeah.
was doing.
Yeah.
But
He
whenever they give you your heroes, I'm always like, be aware of them giving you, and don't tell me he's the self-appointed Messiah, because that alone is going to should send off flags to people and stuff. You know?
and so they're actually recording. They're filming a video for the song as well. So as much as and he as in Kendrick followed the Art of War, followed 48 Laws. He is, and this is just my opinion. It might be too early of opinion. It might be a completely wrong assumption, but he is dangerously close of breaking one of the rules in the 48 Laws, which was don't go past the mark you said.
Yes. I think the video is a bit much.
I think I
I
think
think the concert
I
was
thought the
perfect.
concert. I thought like they was crip walking, Hoover stomping, blood walking on Drake's grave. I said, this is over. The
Yes.
longer this goes on,
It
the
loses its vitality.
that's just me.
No, no, I'm in agreement. It loses its vitality, and then sometimes you go to the well too many times. Like you up, that's it. It's over. I'm
Yep.
up. There's nothing else to be said about this. The concert on Juneteenth, in alignment with the summer solstice, in alignment with his birthday, in alignment with Tupac's birthday. You dressing like Tupac at the Felt Forum, tapping into Nipsey's energy, because I think that's where they buried Nipsey at, if
Oh,
memory serves me correct.
okay.
If
Okay.
memory serves me correct, it was at the Felt. So he mentioned Nipsey, he mentioned Tupac. So all of that stuff, well calculated and in alignment. Now I also heard that Dr. Dre um, was on a diss track or against Game, and he said, "I see dead people," and so
Hmm.
it's either Game said that to Drake, to Dre, when he was dissing Dre on that one album he didn't do with Dre.
Okay.
From Game. Okay, Game did an album when he parted from Dr. Dre, and I think he said something like, "I see dead people." And so for Dre to come back and say that at the forum where Game was not welcome,
Okay.
it goes into the double and triple entendres of
Oh.
this. This is a very well calculated situation, and so if I'm Kendrick, I'm up. There's
Yeah.
no need for me to really take that a step further, because now you're beating up on somebody who we knew lyrically there was no contest to begin with.
Right.
Did, and
Right.
so, but you baited Drake into, because of what Drake represents. We went through all of that. That's
Yeah.
fine. Now he's dead. You killed him. Let it go. And so now a video comes out. You know,
And
I'm with you in that. That might be a
and
bit
then
much.
the way, if you look at the way the internet works, when somebody's up for too long, and that's what we saw with Drake anyway, right? He was
Yes.
up for so long that the fans got tired of him. People in the industry got tired of him. Everybody just got tired of him. So it was an easy flip. It was easy for everybody to go, okay, now we're gonna stand up for what's right, and we don't like him. Apparently grooming little girls, even though y'all was okay with him, all the songs y'all did with him, right?
Right. And I think this is what I'm going to say about this too. Calling somebody a groomer is one thing. Calling them a pedophile
Yo,
with
they
no, you got all these people screaming, basically he's a pedophile, a minor, this, that, in a stadium, when if there's no substantial proof, I think that's where we cross the line, and you have to be careful because if you call me a pedophile and I'm not,
Right,
dude,
right.
this goes into somewhere else. So it's one thing to slip it in to insinuate. It's another thing to just be clearly stating that. Now, if he can prove it, then why is Drake not in jail? And that's a whole nother issue. And
Mm-hmm.
that means we are all celebrating the fact that he's a pedophile with no charges being brought. And then we go down another deep, slippery slope like we did with R. Kelly. And so we become the hypocrites in the grand scheme of it, right?
Yep, yep.
Because we have identified a pedophile.
Yo,
No one is doing anything about it.
and what's happening is these fans, they're taking this stuff literally.
This is what I mean by this
I
social
mentioned
media thing.
something.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember, last month when it was real jumping. I say, yo, I was like, listen, I understand. I said, but Family Matters is hard. And somebody was like, I'm not listening to that. He called me a slave on that song. I said, what?
right, right,
And then you
right.
realize, like, okay, then it becomes into, okay, who am I talking to here?
This is what I mean by morons are hanging out with intellectuals and critical thinkers in one gumbo now, and it's causing the greatest confusion ever.
Yeah.
And so discernment is going to be important. Return on your investment, saying, is it worth it? Or
Yeah.
this is really not worth it
Yeah.
because you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You might think you're talking to a counterpart of someone of critical thinking and discernment, and you're talking to somebody who can't even read,
Yeah.
right? Because you can say, this is what you can say. You can say, Drake got smoked in this battle. And then you could follow that up by, now that's in alignment with
Yeah.
what people, and then you could say, yeah, but I thought Family Matters had a chance to breathe. You just canceled
Yes,
what you
everything.
said prior because
Yeah.
all they do is latch on to
Yeah.
the part that is not in alignment with them, and it gives them fuel to create an argument. And then they say Malcolm is capping, Malcolm is this and that, and you're going, wait a minute. I clearly stated, but you're missing. That's what people who are your counterpart, who
Yeah.
you can have a critical back and forth with.
Yep.
You're talking to goofies,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
talking to goofies. And this is where we are with that. So I think that'll pretty much do it, man. We got a show tonight.
Yes,
I'm excited.
yes. Be there, 8 p.m. Eastern, live, Urban X TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on Instagram.
Please.
Those are Instagrams. Follow Urban X. And we will see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.